The Richard J. Caron Award of Excellence is given annually to those individuals who, in the estimation of the Caron Board of Trustees, exhibit that same spirit of care and compassion which our founder, Dick Caron, did over 60 years ago when he opened up his home to help those suffering from the disease of alcoholism.
I was involved with Caron in Philadelphia when we first started doing work down in Philadelphia. And actually, Judee and Ron were both involved in the original steering committee that was set up to host this event. It is such a distinct honor to be honored among so many wonderful people who have made such a difference in the lives of so many. And while they get an honor from the Caron Foundation, when you look at what these people have accomplished, it is such a stellar group of individuals who have changed the lives of so many people around them.
When I think of Judee von Seldeneck, when I think of Ron Rubin, I think of two icons in the greater Philadelphia community. In fact, beyond the greater Philadelphia community, the region, the state, and beyond.
The focus on Philadelphia is all Ron and Judee, and the projects like the Mellon Bank Center and the Bellevue Rescue and a whole series of other buildings. It's really a list of accomplishments that is longer and more pages involved than anybody else in the city.
Ron Rubin is not only a great developer and a great businessman, which everybody knows, but he is probably the most authentic person that any of us know.
When the Bellevue closed down, people thought it was dead. Trying to revive it was considered a fool's errand. Ron did it in part because he saw the economic opportunity, but in part because he knew how important it would be to the city.
If you want to find a lasting legacy for Ron Rubin, it is the creation of the Center City District and the quality of safety, cleanliness, plantings, everything that went with it.
He's a combination of humility, humor, unflappable judgment, loyalty, and a love of people.
Judee is just a warrior. And she took on the battle for the wage tax and led the Chamber of Commerce, and there's no fight that she will not fight.
Judee's impact on the community really starts with me when we did our famous March up Broad Street with the Briefcase Brigade. And Judee, even though I got most of the credit, it was Judee's idea.
One thing that Judee has been so vocal on is getting women on boards of directors and making sure that women have a voice in our community.
She is an unbelievably powerful resource for our community, a mentor and a person who helps many in her daily jobs.
The three words that best describe Judee are charismatic, charming, and cool. She's just a cool person.
Mom, thank you so much for giving so much of your time, giving so much of your energy, and giving so much of your love to the Caron Foundation and to the cause of addiction and recovery.
Judee and Ron, I want to congratulate you on this amazing honor and recognition.
Judee and Ron, congratulations on this well-deserved Richard J. Caron Award of Excellence this evening.
Without your support some 20 years ago, and every single year since, we would not have been able to treat so many individuals and families. Thank you very much. Judee and Ron, 20 years ago, you helped Caron celebrate the first Richard J. Caron Award of Excellence. And your continued support and advocacy over the years on behalf of Caron has helped us to raise $9.2 million in philanthropy and save countless lives. But more than that, you've helped Caron grow regionally in so many different ways, from one parent support group to 14 today, serving hundreds of parents weekly, and many of our parent support leaders are with us tonight. We've expanded our student assistance program from just a handful of schools to over 165 schools this year, educating and assisting over 23,000 students in 2019. We've grown in regional partnerships with leading institutions such as the University of Pennsylvania, St. Joseph's University, Independence Blue Cross, and a variety of hospital systems and schools of medicine in the greater Philadelphia region. But finally, what is most telling is your influence in leadership in bringing the horror of addiction and the hope of recovery out of the shadows in the Philadelphia business community. 20 years ago, it was a brave business leader who openly supported Caron in its mission of helping addicts. 20 years ago, we did not address as business leaders the horrific cost in lives and broken relationships with families, which addiction causes. And 20 years ago, we did not have business leaders like so many of you in this room openly championing the heroes who are leading the way at Caron to provide recovery of life for those who suffer from the disease of addiction. Today, we have all of these things happening in the city of Philadelphia, and it's all because of what Ron and Judee so bravely started 20 years ago. On behalf of Caron's Board of Trustees, it's my great pleasure to present you with the Richard J. Caron Award of Excellence, named in honor of our founder. Please join us on stage.
Oh my goodness. I'm not often very lacking in being able to talk, but after just witnessing this past half hour, I'm having a little trouble here. I brought along some notes in case this happened, because I thought it might happen. Because what happens here, and people like Harry and everybody that we've heard from tonight, it really gets to you. So thank you, Dan and Steve and Casey and everybody that really provides leadership for this wonderful organization. You are the real heroes as far as I'm concerned. But before I say anything else, I would just like to take a moment to say how honored I am to be here with Ron Rubin. There is nobody that has done more for the city of Philadelphia, Caron, or this community than Ron Rubin. He is a real hero, and I'm just so honored to be with him. I would also like for you all to know who the real hero is here, and that is Doug Tiemann. Let me tell you, this was his idea. This was not my idea or Ron's idea. This was Doug Tiemann's idea, and he saw the opportunity to really build something big in Philadelphia. And I don't know why he picked Ron and I, but I know we're both thrilled that he did. And he came and said, could you guys just kind of help me out a little bit here? And he had this vision of what this could be. And how about a real big round of applause for Doug Tiemann? So, like many of you, I came to intersect with Caron in a time of crisis. Not once, but twice. I was a proud, happy, working mother with a wonderful husband, Clay, two adorable sons, Roddy and Kevin, living the good life in Chestnut Hill. As children, Roddy was the oldest son, and he was very high-spirited, very adventuresome, always stirring up trouble in school with his pranks and having the whole class in hysterics instead of paying any attention to what they were all supposed to be doing. And our son Kevin was more serious and kind of shy. But they both grew to be very handsome teenagers and into combined hell on wheels. Clay and I were totally clueless about what was lurking in the shadow of our perfect family. The story of Roddy and Kevin is their story to tell. My story to tell is the journey, as many of you know, was beyond anything I could have ever imagined. Clay and I got the full tour, no drive-bys. We didn't get shortchanged one bit. We got the whole 9 yards. We got to live and see it all. I still can't listen to that song from Les Mis, Bring Him Home, without getting teared up, because that was a period of time when Roddy was out on the streets, and we didn't know if he was alive or dead. Many of those years are a blur. Some are not. However, at the end of the day, I wouldn't trade them. Well, maybe a few. But today, we are blessed to live by mutual choice, all of us, with Roddy, his wife Shannon, the love of my life, I gotta say that. There are 3 kids and a big old creaky house in Chestnut Hill, all happily under one roof. And our friends think we've lost our minds, but you know what? We are the luckiest people in the whole wide world. 3 generations of us all there together, loving every minute of it. And I'm able to see firsthand every day what an incredible young man our son, Roddy, now 13 years sober, has grown up to be. You saw it for yourself. He is a happy, healthy son, father, husband today because of Caron. Roddy oversees our family financial commitment to Caron, but beyond that, seeing him constantly, instantly dropping whatever he's doing in his busy life to come to the aid of those who are in crisis with addiction. He could start his own rehab. I've never seen anything like it. I mean, people call Roddy constantly for help because he's got this reputation in the community as somebody that has really got a gift, and he's there to give it back. And he can spot you walking down the street if he can tell if you've got a problem, and he will even come up probably and engage you in a conversation and confront you that maybe you need to deal with it. I mean, he's just unbelievable, and it's just such a joy to see this, and I feel like that we owe it all to Caron. And I guess that you know, our story is not that unique. I think it's a story that a lot of people in this room and all over the country can tell. When you're desperate, when you feel alone, when you feel like you're losing hope, the one thing you need more than anything is faith that it will get better and that it will turn out all right. I think that as far as our family goes, we will be forever grateful to the Caron Foundation for saving our lives and giving us that very special gift that they give to so many others. And it's our real honor and privilege to be part of this wonderful organization and to be with all of you. How lucky we are. We're the ones that get the gift to be part of it. So thank you so much for being here.
So the first point I'd like to make is transparency. Transparency says that Ron Rubin is no longer, and has been no longer the executive chairman of Pennsylvania Real Estate Investment Trust. But when they were trying to figure out how to identify me, they didn't want to use the term good guy. So being with Judee in any kind of venture is great. She's great. And I loved working with her all these years, and we've had great chemistry. My father used to say to me, remember, son, never forget, family comes first. He was an immigrant, and my mom was too, and immigrants were all about family. They actually ended up in Philadelphia because they had family here, and family was always first. I mention it because addiction affects families. One family member can change everything and make the difference. They say it's like a mobile which moves and changes other pieces, and one person can affect a whole family. I remember one of the dinners that Marcia and I had with one of our most affluent friends. And when we got finished with the latest news of the day, we got into the real stuff. And the real stuff was our families, our kids, and the real problems. And they would say, nobody escapes if you have kids. Sooner or later, you get nailed. I mention that because, as we know, this disease does not discriminate. It hits all segments of our communities, and rarely does a family escape the pain and the anguish that comes with the addiction of one of its loved ones and the many questions that result and dominate our family life. And that's where Caron comes in. Doug Tiemann and his great staff at Caron are there to help families when the going gets tough, as it usually does. This used to be only about alcohol, but today, addiction has many options. It takes real professionals to deal with a growth business, and it is a growth business of addiction. And thank God for Doug and his people. When Marcia did an intervention on me, when I was struggling with the problem in our family with one of our own kids, she sent me to Caron, where I spent a week there some years ago, and I saw firsthand just how they can change lives. They really do. I know. I was there. And I was one of the lives that was changed. When Doug asked Judee and me to start this annual event 20 years ago, we said we would, and are pleased to see how much it has grown every year. Your continued support is a difference maker. Let's keep it going. Thank you very much.